Now let us consider beam width. Beam width is nothing but the angle through which the maximum power is radiated. The angle through which the maximum power is radiated is called as a beam width. Now here, if I consider the radiation pattern of an antenna, so this is your back lobe and this is your side lobe and this is your main lobe. Now, to calculate the beam width, now here I am drawing one particular line, a dotted line here, and this is the dotted line. And these are the points where I am drawing this dotted line. So these are called as a null points. So these are called as a null points because at this particular point and at this particular point, we don't have any radiations. The angle at which we don't have any radiations is called as a null points. Now, because this is a null point, I am drawing one line here, and this is the one point, I am drawing the one line here, and then, so this is the angle now what I am getting it here. So that is, so this angle, through this particular angle, I am getting the maximum radiations. So that is called as a beam width and the beam nulls. So these are called as a beam nulls and this is called as a beam width. And this value is taken in both the vertical directions and in the horizontal directions because your antenna radiates the signals in the vertical direction, the horizontal directions. So therefore here the angles are taken as theta and the phi. Now let us come to this particular second figures. And here whatever the PM is written, so PM is a maximum power radiated by the antenna. And this PM by 2 is nothing but the half of the power radiated by the antenna. Now we will come across one more term, that is half power beam width. Half power beam width is nothing but the beam width of the antenna that is at the half power of the maximum power. The same pattern we can draw it in the Cartesian coordinates form. Now, so whatever this particular main beam is there, so the main beam is shown in this. So this is your main beam, and so whatever the side beams are there, so these are our side beams. That is your side lobes. Okay, side beam or the side lobe. Then to calculate the half power beam width, so what you will do that, suppose if this maximum power, if I considering assuming it to be 1, then half of that one will be 0.5. So now this is the 0.5, then I will draw a line in this, it will touch at this particular point and it is touching at this particular point, then join this particular line to this and draw a line to this. Now, so this is the point and this is the point what you will get. Then, so whatever the width you are getting, it is called as a half power beam width. And so whatever the width you are having, it is called as a beam width. Similarly, if you look into this, so this is the one, so what you are having is nothing but the beam width. And so this is the one half power beam width is nothing but the, so this one. That is the beam width, what you are calculating, that is half power of the maximum power, it is called as a half power beam width. Half power points are obtained at different values. For example, it is obtained at PM by 2 for absolute pattern and obtained at 1 by 2 for the relative pattern and minus 3 dB for the dB plots or the decibel plots. And an approximate relationship between bandwidth between the nulls and the half power points. You should have a certain relation between bandwidth between the nulls and the half power point will be equal to theta 0 dash equal to theta 0 divided by 2 and phi 0 dash is equal to phi 0 divided by 2. Because, so we are taking it as dividing it by 2 here because it is a half power point. Because here also we are dividing it by 2 and here also we are dividing it by 2. Then for ideal antenna, so this theta 0 dash is equal to theta 0 and phi 0 dash is equal to phi 0. consider one more term, beam area, and this beam area sometimes called as solid angle. The beam area is defined as the area through which the maximum power is radiated is known as beam area or the solid angle. Now let us consider this particular figure. Here you have an antenna. So this antenna radiates the power, and the radiated power is in the vertical directions with an angle theta, and it is in the horizontal direction with an angle phi. And this is the area through which the maximum power is radiated, and this is called as a beam area or the solid angle. And whatever this R has been shown here, this R is the radius. This is an antenna, this is R is the radius, then you can draw the sphere. If R is the distance at which the angles are estimated, that means to say that this is an antenna point, and at this particular point you are measuring the values, then your omega equal to A divided by R square. Then for elemental area dA subtended by an angle d theta d phi. Here you are having a total area. So this whatever this A is there, so this is a total area. Instead of considering the total area, we are considering only an elemental area, a small area, that is called as a dA. So this just we are considering here a small area. So this I am calling it as a dA. Now, so for this elemental area, dA subtended by an angle d theta and d phi, then d omega equal to dA divided by R square. Okay. Then we know that dA equal to R sin theta d phi. Substitute the values in this particular equation. When you substitute the values in this equation, then d omega is equal to R square sin theta d phi R square. Then R square and R square will get cancelled. You will left with sin theta d theta and d phi. Then the beam area or beam solid angle is given by, that is this beam area or the beam solid angle is given by rho A equal to double integration P divided by Pm into d omega. So this you can write it as, whatever this integration is there, try to apply the limits to this, 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi sin theta d theta and d phi, because d omega is equal to sin theta d theta and d phi, and the approximate beam area or the beam angle is equal to, that is omega equal to theta hp and theta phi phi, where whatever this theta hp and phi hp are there, so they are half power beam width in vertical and the horizontal direction respectively. Approximate beam area or the beam angle is omega equal to theta hp into phi hp, where this theta hp and phi hp are the half power beam width, that is the beam width obtained at half of the maximum power in vertical direction and the horizontal directions. Now, so let us consider another parameters, that is directivity. Directivity is defined as ratio of maximum radiation intensity to the average radiation intensity. So, this is equal to UM divided by U0, where UM is the maximum radiation intensity, U0 is the average radiation intensity. Or, so this can also be defined as the ratio of maximum radiation intensity to the intensity of isotropic antenna feeding the same power. As I already told that isotropic antenna is the one which is taken as a reference antenna, and all other antenna parameters are compared with isotropic antenna in order to calculate its performance. Then the ratio of maximum radiation intensity to the intensity of isotropic antenna feeding the same power. That means to say that, so this is your antenna, to this antenna you are feeding some power and then calculating the radiated power. I am repeating once again. So, assume that this is your antenna. To this antenna you are applying some signals and the radiated power you are getting from that antenna. Then give the same signal to the isotropic antenna and get the output from that. So, this is equal to UM divided by U0. So, the meaning of this and this is shown in this particular diagram here. So, whatever this particular circle is there, now, so this is the average radiation intensity or the intensity of isotropic antenna feeding the same power, and whatever this one is there, so this one, so I will write it as like this now. So, this is the maximum radiation intensity of the antenna. The ratio of the maximum radiation intensity divided by the average radiation intensity is going to give the directivity. What that is, directivity is indicating that how in a particular directions your antenna radiates the power. Now, if you closely observe this, your antenna is radiating uniformly in all the directions. But now, so this directivity indicates that in a particular direction, either along these directions or with making certain angle, or in this direction or in this direction, and or in these directions. In any directions, if you want to radiate the signals, so then we are taking the directivity. Now, so the ratio of this divided by this is due to the directivity that indicates that in this particular directions how much amount of the power is radiated. Then directivity is expressed in dBs. Directivity in dB is equal to d of dB is equal to 10 log 10 of d, and relative directivity is d dash is equal to d divided by d reference. Okay. So, this is the directivity what you are getting at this, and d reference is nothing but where d reference is equal to directivity of one reference antenna. That means to say that suppose this is your B is your reference antenna and A is the antenna which you want to test it, then the directivity of this antenna divided by the directivity of this reference antenna is going to be the relative directivity. What that relative directivity is indicating that related to this particular antenna, how your antenna radiates. Relative directivity is equal to d dash is equal to d divided by d reference, where so d reference is equal to directivity of the reference antenna. That is mean to say, now B is your reference antenna and this antenna you are calculating the directivity, and A is the antenna which you are testing, its directivity is D, then D divided D reference you are calling it as a relative directivity. Here what we are doing is that the performance of your antenna we are checking with the reference antenna, for example B. Then directivity in terms of power density, if you want to calculate, then D is equal to Pm divided by P0, where Pm is D is equal to Pm divided by P0, where Pm is the maximum power radiated from the antenna and P0 is the average power radiated from the antenna. Let us consider one more term related to the antenna, that is power gain. Power gain is the ratio of maximum radiation intensity to the average radiation intensity, where this dash is the maximum radiation intensity and U0 is the intensity of isotropic antenna. Now, so this power gain and the directivity definition, if you consider, both looks to be similar but with a slight difference is there. As go on studying the different parameters of this particular antenna, then you will come to know the difference between the gain and the directivity. Now, if K is the efficiency factor, then so this UM dash, I can write it as UM dash is equal to K into UM. Hence, then G is equal to, I can write it as UM dash is equal to K into UM divided by U0, or so this I can write it as G is equal to K into D. If you closely observe it here, now this UM by UM dash, this UM divided by U0 is the directivity and K is the efficiency factor. That means to say, now your G is equal to K into D. The definition of the power gain and the definition of the directivity remains to be same, but both the directivity and the gain are related with one particular constant, that is the efficiency factor. Now, so this gain you can express in dBs. Then if you want to express this gain in dB, then it is 10 log 10 of whatever the G you are calculating. Then relative gain, G dash is equal to G divided by G reference, where G reference is the gain of the reference antennas. Then relative gain you can also express in dBs. Then G dash of dB is equal to 10 log 10 of G dash. Then let us consider the two terms related to this power gains. Remember here, the directivity and the gain looks to be similar. Therefore, here I written it as directivity or the gain. Directivity or the gain measures the power that can be obtained at a particular distance related to the isotropic source. Now, so this is your antenna, for example. We want to measure the power at a particular distance where you are getting the maximum power. So that means to say that suppose here we are getting the maximum power. And so this power we are comparing with respect to the isotropic antenna, that is directivity or the gain measure the maximum power that can be obtained at a particular distance. So from this particular antenna with related to the isotropic antenna. Second one is directivity or the gain measures the distance of communication. This directivity or the gain measure the distance of communication. That means to say that if this is your antenna, now, so suppose up to this particular point you are getting the maximum power, and after this one, if you are not getting the power from the antenna, so then we can say that up to this particular distance you can communicate. Beyond this one you are not getting any signals, so then you can say that beyond this particular distance you cannot communicate. That is, directivity or the gain gives you the distance of communication, whether you can communicate with up to 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers or the 10 kilometers. Once if that distance is over, so then you are not having any signal here, then you cannot communicate. Therefore, so this gain or the directivity are the one of the most important factors which will give you in which direction you are radiating the powers, and in that direction how much amount of the power is radiated, and that will decide that with what distance you can communicate with that type of the antenna. Now, if you want to increase the directivity of the antenna, so the directivity can be increased by increasing the input power, that is to this antenna whatever the input signal you are applying, that signal power you have to increase it. Second one is a proper impedance matching. If the proper impedance matching is there, and the maximum power will be transferred. That is, if you properly design an antenna with an impedance matching, so then you will get the maximum directivity. And the third one is converting an antenna into a unidirectional one. That means to say that, suppose if this is your this is the antenna, what you are having, if it is radiating the powers in all the directions, instead of radiating the power in all the directions, because you want to communicate with a person who is standing at this particular point, you want to communicate, then there is no need of radiating the signal in this particular directions. Then what we are doing that, we want to convert this antenna into a unidirectional antenna means, so how we are doing is that, so this particular antenna, we want to radiate all the power in this particular directions. That means to say that at the back side, whatever the radiation will be there, so they will be in this particular side, so then, so these particular signals can reach to, so this particular person. That is converting an antenna into a unidirectional means to say that instead of radiating the signal in all the directions, the entire power we are reading it in a particular directions, so that we can communicate with the particular device. And the fifth one is reducing the beam width. Reducing the beam width means, suppose this is the station A and the station B. Now, if your beam width is of this size, if the beam width is of like this, unnecessarily, because you want to communicate with this particular person, so this power is unnecessarily wasting, because if I need only the beam width of this size, this much is sufficient for us to communicate A with B. But here what is happening is that, so this power and this power is unnecessarily wasted. So then what we are doing is that, so this beam width we are reducing. When you reduce this particular beam width, so it will increases the distance. Totally, so whatever the power is here and whatever the power is there, so it is there in this particular beam only. That is, by having a narrow beam width, you can increase the directivity. Now let us consider one more term, that is directive gain. So the directive gain can be calculated from the equation 4 pi divided by theta 0 dash and phi 0 dash, where so this theta 0 dash and phi 0 dash are the half power beam width. So let us consider the another term of the antenna, that is beam efficiency. Beam efficiency can be calculated from the equations. Omega is equal to omega main beam plus omega side beam. That is, so this is omega A is nothing but your beam area. That is, the total radiation of an antenna, if you consider, whenever the antenna radiates the signals, you have the main beam and side beam. That is, the main lobe and the side lobes. So therefore, here we are considering the main lobe and the side lobe. That is omega A equal to omega main lobe plus omega side lobes. So this one I can write it as omega m, and this I can write it as omega small m. And beam efficiency is nothing but this omega m, so divided by omega A. This omega A is the beam area or the beam solid angle. Then stray factor is defined as omega m divided by omega A. The omega m is nothing but the side lobe. The omega m divided by A is nothing but the stray factor. The main lobe and the sum of that is the side lobe, so the value equal to 1. That is indicating that so the total power radiated from the antenna is containing in the main lobes and the side lobes. But maximum amount of the power is contained in the main lobes and very small amount of the power is contained in the side lobes. So therefore, the stray factor for the main lobe, EM is the stray factor for the main lobe and EA is the stray factor for the side lobes. So therefore, this EM plus EA is equal to 1. Let us consider the estimation of directivity. How to calculate the directivity? And we know that G is equal to K into D, or you can write it as D equal to G by K. And the gain of the antenna is calculated from the equation G is equal to 4 pi. So divided by a double integration Pn of theta comma phi into d omega, where so whatever Pn of theta comma phi is there, it is a normalized power pattern. And En of theta comma phi is a normalized field patterns. It indicating that so whatever this gain is there, you can calculate it from the normalized power pattern or the normalized field pattern. Meaning to say that Pn of theta comma phi, if you substitute the values, so then you are calculating the directivity from the power patterns. And in this particular place, if you substitute En of theta comma phi, so then you are calculating the gain from the field patterns. Then d omega is equal to sin theta d theta into d phi, and the directivity can be calculated from the equation 4 pi divided by theta 0 dash and phi 0 dash, and where this theta 0 dash and phi 0 dash are there, so these are half power beamwidth points.